Okay, welcome back, everybody. The RP Show continues on a Tuesday. We're having a great day. Episode number 1516. And Friday's show live from Joe Dogs in Burlington, Ontario. Troy in Toronto asked if the public can show up. Yeah, why the hell not, Troy? If you show up and they say that you can't, tell them Rod said you can. Live from Joe Dogs in Burlington, Ontario on Friday. Eddie Steele, you know Hamilton. I'm feeling like Don Cherry here doing a live sports show at a sports bar in Southern Ontario, man. We're doing it. That's pretty cool.
Hey, you're doing it just like grapes, baby.
Exactly. Eddie, where'd the fat go? What's going? You need to start eating something, my guy. What's going on?
It's Gonzo, man. And I'll never have to see a double team again.
Yeah, no kidding. Edmonton's second most popular number 97. Eddie Steele joins us, a Grey Cup champion with the Eskimos back in 2015. Eddie, what is the town going through? I can't even imagine.
Oh man, let's not talk CFL. What the town is going through right now is angst. Clearly the Oilers, they didn't show up last game, and quite honestly, RP, people are vocal about it out here, but I feel like I'm one of the more vocal people. The big dogs got to show up. Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl need to play better in the biggest moments of the season, and I expect them to come out and have a big game tonight.
Well, listen, you're on Sports 1440 Edmonton, and you realize pretty fast, I think, you've got a lot of pro sports friends. Well, you played in the Canadian Football League for a long time. The concepts of sport transfer from sport to sport to sport. You realize that pretty fast, I would think, when you got on the air.
Absolutely, man. They're all, the sport itself, the game, it's different, sure. But the intrinsics, the mentality, that dog mentality, and that's something I always prided myself on. It's all the same when you break it down, the hard work. And honestly, there's two things in life that you can control, and especially in sport. You can't control your coaches. You can't control if you get cut or not. You can't control injuries. All you can control is your effort and your attitude. And quite frankly, the Oilers, they didn't put out a good effort the other game, and they need to take harness of that and come out with a better effort, man.
Well, and that's the thing. You're talking about game 5 where they got spanked 5-2 and were never really in it. But that's the difference. A football game is one game a week. A hockey game, basketball, a series, baseball even. That's the one thing where it's different. But I think, where's the heat, by the way? Is it on the goalies? Is it on the beloved McDavid and Draisaitl? Or is it split amongst all of them? What are your listeners saying?
Well, there's a lot of heat for sure on the goaltenders. They all season, there's the pro Stuart Skinner camp, and then there's the camp that thinks that, this guy shouldn't even be on a hockey rink. The reality is, if you look at how much they're paying both goaltenders, both of them are making about $3.5 million combined. Bobrovsky's making 10 million, 10 and a half.
Yeah.
So, they've spent money in other places. And up until this point in the playoffs, those other places have really contributed. They've had a lot of depth scoring, and they've been playing really good team hockey. I don't put any of the blame really on the goaltenders, especially Stuart Skinner for game 5. It was more of a mercy pull to wake and shake the team out of the daze that they were in. Because honestly, if you look back at the first period, Stuart Skinner was getting shelled, and he made some big saves. He let some goals in, but he still made some big saves. It could have been 5-6-0 after that first period.
Well, Eddie, you've lived around this great country. I don't like Edmonton rivals Toronto for pressure, right? Like, for instance, they're putting this on Stan Bowman. He's in his first year as GM, for the love of God. Like, if the goaltending blows up tonight and the guy, like, I don't know who they're going to blame, but it's not Stan Bowman. I think, like, it's wild,
No.
huh?
It is wild. And you know what? I love the market. The Edmonton market is passionate, Roddy, very passionate. But with that passion comes some insanity. And some of the takes that I see from some people, man, it is outlandish. Where people think that, the choices that they would make would be success, like Stan Bowman. How are we going to talk about Stan Bowman being an issue? We even look at Jeff Jackson and the moves that they made in the summer, signing Victor Arvidsson and these guys that you thought were going to come in, and they have contributed. Jeff Skinner, for example, they've contributed, but they haven't been these home run hitters that you should have seen the market out here in the summer when they made these signings. You could have been sure that the Oilers were about to win the Stanley Cup. Lo and behold, though, they haven't produced, and it really hasn't panned out the way they wanted it to. Where to put the blame? It goes all around if they don't accomplish the end goal. But me personally, I look at the players first, and I'm always going to look at the superstars. And quite frankly, up until now, here we are in Game 6 in the Cup Finals. Leon and Connor haven't showed up the way they've been needed to show up.
Yet. That's the thing. They could
Yet.
win tonight. It could go to 7, and they could still win. Have we forgotten about that? And by the way, BW writes in.
That's the series.
Yeah. BW writes in. He says they need to hog tie the rat tonight. That's the other thing. Brad Marchand has dialed back the clock, the calendar, and is playing out of his mind. You can't account for when the other team's great, too. Let's not forget about that.
And you can't. They're getting paid over there as well. And, Sasha Barkov, we're talking about Connor McDavid not playing up to his standard or our standard of expectation for him. But you forget Sasha Barkov is one of the best defensive forwards in the game right now. And they have a really strong team. And the way Florida plays, it's not schematically advanced or anything, but boy, they buy into their scheme and they are aggressive. Sometimes it feels like there's 6 guys out on the ice. Edmonton can't even get the puck out of their zone because the forecheck and everything is so aggressive, and Edmonton just can't handle it.
It's a very aggressive is a great way to put it. It's a very exhausting physically way to play, but they've been doing that for a while. It took Paul Maurice half a season to get that cooked into them 3 years ago now, and they've realized it gets results. It's not fun to play. There was resistance, just so you know, in the dressing room. It's hard to play that way, but you win, right? And it's a veteran group, and they want to win. And Wayne in BC writes in, he says, as usual, good analysis, Eddie. Trust me, Wayne, we're getting around to football here right away. But I love Edmonton.
I was going to say, Ronnie, you got me on here for hockey or some ball?
Yeah. Oh, I should have told you. I know you can handle it. I would not have thrown you the ball if I didn't think you could. If I didn't think you could catch it, I wouldn't have thrown you the ball. But I hear that we have a big following in Edmonton. That's what the ratings say. And I also know that that's what the town's talking about right now, despite what I look like. I'm not stupid. But flipping over to football, pretty good segue, actually. Thursday night football is a slobber knocker in my mind. It's the Alouettes at the Edmonton Elcamos. Tell me if that pisses them off. I just get so much fun saying Elcamos. I hope they don't get mad over it. What do you think about
I like that one?
Yeah, it's good. Until I'm told not to, I'm going to keep saying it. Alouettes at Edmonton. It's their home opener for the Elks. What's going to happen?
Well, we all know Montreal has a really strong defense. They play blue-collar football in Montreal. They punch you in the mouth. They're very physical. They're not an exotic team by any means, but they just do their job and do it well. By far the best team in the East right now. I know it's early, but they're 2-0. Everybody else is 0-2. For Edmonton, I really want to see, and I'm not going to put this on Trey Ford. I'm going to put it on the coaching staff. I want to see the coaching staff put Trey Ford in a position to have success. He hasn't really been put in a position where he can utilize his strengths to the best of his ability. And what I mean by that is use the play action. Get his legs active through the play calling, not get his legs active because he's scrambling out of a blitz that's coming his way. Right now in game 1, I saw Trey Ford drop back and do too much traditional passing. And quite honestly, Trey Ford is not there yet as a passer to be able to just drop back 30 times and throw it. Use the RPO game, the run pass option, throw in some fakes, and then you can capitalize on Trey's athleticism. Rod, throughout the games, Trey does 3 to 5 amazing plays a game. And I sit back and I watch and I just smile because what he's doing, nobody else can do on a football field. But then, though, the other 95% of the time, I want to see him evolve as a passer. But in order to do that, you need to be put in positions for success. And I think Jordan Maximic is going to have a good bounce back week because I don't think he did his best play calling in week 1.
Our director of scouting, Craig Smith, has chimed in. He says, Eddie is great, a good U of M kid. Oh, yeah, he's won a Vanier Cup, a Grey Cup. As John Frenzy would say, he's a winner all the way. And, well, listen, what did you think about the BC game in week one? Because I'm watching it. And if it not for that punt return blocking from the back, like that was the turning point of the game when they called that return. I thought they had a chance till then.
That BC game, you know what? There was a lot of points left on the table, literally, in that BC game. The kicker, had he have hit one of those field goals that he missed three, I believe. Had he have hit even one in the first half, it's a different ball game because now you're taking pressure off of the offense and the
Yep.
defense because you're starting to pad your lead. If you remember, Edmonton was up 7-3 at halftime against BC. Now there's an asterisk there. BC had a dropped wide open touchdown. Javon Cotoy dropped an easy touchdown. But take that out. Edmonton's up 7-3. And it's a ball game. I think we had JC Sherrod on Sports 1440 on the morning show. I think last Monday it was. And he even admitted himself he got out coached by Buck Pierce in the second half. He didn't make the proper adjustments. And I felt like Buck Pierce and the Nathan Rourke led offense in BC made really nice adjustments using the RPO like I talked about. Fake the run, let Nathan Rourke read the play, and then make those passes. And then tackling. Nathan Rourke the bag a couple of times where they could have got off the field and they had some piss poor tackling. So all things that's fixable, man.
Listen, you're not afraid to tell it how it is. Is Nathan Rourke overrated, Eddie? Come on.
Ooh, okay. Coming for
Oh!
the spice. You know what? I'm not
Yeah.
going to say he's overrated. I'm done talking about his 2022 season. Yeah, it was a great season or a great 12 games he played before he got injured. I'm done talking about that. Let's talk recency. I don't think he is what everybody is talking him to be. So if that's me saying he's overrated in a politically correct way, maybe it is. But right now, I'm in a prove it state, and I want to see guys prove it. And Nathan Rourke, he puts up some really nice numbers, but man, he can't get that monkey of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers off his back. I don't know if he's had any success against the Bombers in his entire CFL career. They know how to game plan and scheme him. And I think that the rest of the CFL, if you want to slow Nathan Rourke down, take a page out of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers book because they seem to have it written well.
0-5, the Nathan Rourke against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. And by the way, on the overrated thing, I'm just stirring it up with a canoe paddle. You know how I like to do it. I like to do
I
it.
know how it is.
Craig, our VP, our director of scouting, Craig Smith, says, I think it will take a few games for the Elks to get it together. Added talent, and it's a team game. Jeff, the Stamps fan, writes in. He goes, it looks like Stamps long snapper Aaron Crawford has been placed on the 6th game. That sucks. Aaron watches this show every day, and he's a great guy. I wish him back soon. How about this? Your buddy Cody Fajardo's in Edmonton. Have you guys embraced on the practice field or something? Who saw that coming?
Who saw that coming? Who would have thought? I'll say this, man. I was wrong about Cody Rod. I gave him a hard time in Sask and thought he didn't handle some things. But ever since he went and won that Grey Cup and won the Grey Cup MOP, he shut because once you do that, and he played so well too down the stretch, you really can't say anything about him, man. And the fact is, he's a hell of a teammate. Everybody knows that. I would like to see, and he most likely will get some reps out here, unless Trey Ford really learns how to take care of his body. History has proven Trey Ford gets banged up a little bit the past 3 years. It's happened every year. So hopefully that's not the case, knock on wood. But it's the CFL, and we know you're going to need both quarterbacks at a certain point in time. No different than the Edmonton Oilers. They got 2 goalies, and you're going to need them both if you want to win this cup. It's the same thing with the football club, and I'm sure Cody's going to get some reps at a certain point in time. And I'm curious because Cody is going to bring a calming veteran presence, which is something a little bit different than what Trey Ford brings.
Well, here's the thing. Cody hasn't always been like that. And I'm going to tell you something that you will get, and I hope people are paying attention that don't. You and I have had these conversations over the counter at my pizza restaurant because I don't think you know Cody personally. Do you, Eddie? Have you met him?
No, not
No.
like you, that's for sure.
Okay, so when you get this, when you give every ounce of sweat and blood and tears to something, and it turns around and kicks you in the balls, it hurts. And he didn't handle it well. He'll tell you that. You had that happen to you too. That's why I'm saying
Yes.
that. And you bit
And
your
I
tongue.
did have it happen. And the difference, I guess, would be I'm not the starting quarterback face of a franchise where everybody's putting a mic in my face. So I do have that grace for Cody. I do.
That's the similarity, my man. You went through the exact same thing. And he wishes that he could go back and change things. Don't we all? But the past is the past. And now you say he's the veteran. Yeah, he is. But he wasn't always like that. And when
Well
he,
said.
yeah, and when he gets on the field, do you think he gives it up? Because I don't. Like, I had a coach call me and go, Rod, I know you love the guy, but we looked at the film and he just doesn't have it. I'm like, well, I looked at the film too, and I saw him winning the. What is it they don't see? I don't understand.
Yeah, sometimes coaches get so caught up in just the game film itself, but there's more than just the film. There's the intangible of the player, the human, and different elements that they bring, even just to the locker room, the culture. Sure, part of the signing was to bring in a backup for Trey Ford, but you better believe another part of the signing was to bring in a mentor, someone who's had success in the league and who kind of plays a similar style, an athletic type of a scrambling style. You know they brought him in here to mentor Trey and to show him the ways.
And he will. He absolutely will. It's cool, by the way. Jason Ma's coming back. The more I talk about Edmonton and with you, who, I mean, you're not from there, but you might as well be. Ma's showing up, I would think, means something to that
It
town.
does.
Yeah, yeah,
It
yeah. You
does.
talk about that?
Yeah, it does mean something. And you want to get after him, of course. He's a special dude. He did a lot for the city, the community, and he still lives here in the off season, if I'm not mistaken. He lives out in Sherwood Park, I believe. He's a big hunter, so we all know it's good hunting territory out this way. He's beloved out here, quite honestly. They never wished that he left the way things did back. I think it was after 2018. And I personally didn't think that things should have went the way they went back then either. I liked him as a coach, blue collar man. And from a defensive lineman, when your head coach he was a lot fiery back then. He's more tame now. But when he has that mentality, very much like a Mike O'Shea, rugged, all about team culture. We don't care about numbers or anything like that. It's all about the winning and the team. And Moss brings that element.
Well, here's the thing there were so many sins committed in the last decade in that town. And at the very least, Chris Morris and Ed Hervey and Mark Killam are starting to right them, right? That's the sense that I get. And the people will come
They
back, won't
certainly
they?
They certainly are, man. Even going back a couple of weeks, rehiring Dwayne Mandrusiak, getting him back in the fold. That you just doing little things like that. Well, that's a big one, but
Yeah.
taking steps to mend the relationship with the community. And that's what this team is doing. They're now very active back in schools and putting on camps and doing all the right things. But you know what, Rod? Ain't none of it matters. Ain't none of it matters if you don't win football games. Win football games and people will come. You can do all the reparations to the relationships that you want in the community. Win football games. I've never seen a Grey Cup champion, a Super Bowl champion play in front of a crowd that's half sold out. No, winners have people come out. Winners win, and people want to see winners win.
Nicely said. It's all gone bad. They've lost and screwed it up in the community and off the field. All right, Eddie, great job. I'll read some comments here from the viewers in a sec. Bye, Ed. Great job. Good seeing you, man. Enjoy the game Thursday. I'll read the comments when we come back. How about that, everybody? Plus a sports update the rest of the way. What a great show we're having today here on Game Plus TV.